Sha with an E, and I'm back with another conversation with Sha. This faith over fear, and today I am honored to have the one and only Minerva Perez Tate to give me some of her time as it's the end of October, and we will be remiss to not celebrate the strength of women and men who are living and beating this thing called breast cancer. Is a beautiful woman. She's a wife and a mother to beautiful children and a grandmother too. I know you can't tell, but she's a grandmother. She looked like a baby herself. And she is a phenomenal woman. She works for the Baltimore School District, and she also is in travel. And she's just a phenomenal woman. She's ministers even without knowing that she is a minister. So she's very inspirational. And I thought it'd be just a joy to have this time with her because one of the things that she is a survivor. She's a fighter. And she is an overcomer. Whatever she's faced with, she takes it on and she makes it. So today I wanted to first celebrate you, Minerva, for all that you are. And I want to give you your flowers right now because you are so inspirational. Like, I'm blessed just to have you in my life. So I want to give you this opportunity to kind of take us through some of the downs and ups and everything that you faced when you were hit with that news, that diagnosis, right? It was a diagnosis, but it wasn't who you are. But first I want to ask you, how are you doing?
I'm actually doing okay. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I still made it to speak about this because I just felt like it needs to be talked about. It doesn't get talked about as much as it needs to be talked about. So I need to give you your flowers because since you started this, every broadcast that you have did has made a movement in someone's life. If it was a business, if it was a story, if it was a testimony, what you posting this is just giving inspiration to people that's just sitting there watching. So let me hand you your flowers and thank you for just taking your time out every month to be able to bring up people that been through stuff, people that have businesses, people that's going through stuff that other people need to hear. Because without you bringing us up, then we wouldn't be able to spread the word.
Thank you. I received that. I receive it. And I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So take us on your journey, Minerva. Take us on your journey.
Back in 2019, it was in April. It was late April, beginning of May. I had a mammogram scheduled. And the only reason why I had a mammogram scheduled for was because I was very top heavy. So everyone knows, but I'm going to just say this, but then I'm going to pity back on this a little bit after I finish my story. So usually when you're not over the age of 45 or older, doctors don't recommend a mammogram because they want it for 45 or over. Some doctors even want you to be 50 before you can get your first mammogram. And my fiance, which is my husband, at the same time, he wasn't feeling good. So he had to have MRI done. So we're downstairs. I took my mammogram. I received a note from my care team stating that something was found in my mammogram that I need to get in contact with them to get back so I can make another appointment. So I reached out to them. They made an appointment for the following week for me to come in. Now they wanted to do an ultrasound to get a better look at what it was because they didn't know if it was a lymph node, they didn't know if it was a cyst, something just was showing on my left side. Fast forward to when I went to the sonogram. So went to the sonogram, they biopsied, then they did the sonogram. So then they did what they needed to do. They told me they'd call me back. I think 3 days later, 4 days later, I got a phone call for me to come back in. They needed to check my right breast now. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's nothing because they still not talking about it. So my care team was there. The endocrinologist was there. My primary doctor came downstairs. So after they finished my right breast, they came inside the room. So I'm looking at everybody's face, and I asked them, I said, what's going on? And I said, does it look like it's cancer? And my doctor and them got real quiet. So I said, do it look like it's cancer? Like, what is going on? Like, yeah, I did this. Now I'm back here from my right side. What is it looking like? So come to find out, I did have stage 2 in my left breast.
Mhm.
Then I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, now I'm just like, I'm okay with it. Then I'm not okay with it. But then
Right.
I stopped and I prayed. I don't care what these doctors say. God
Right.
have the last say on
Amen.
anything.
That's right. That's right.
So with that being said, I've said, okay. So they did the same thing to the right breast. I had the stage 1.
Okay. Wow.
So at this time now, I'm just like all over the place. Like now I'm in my feelings now. Now I'm like, this can't be happening. Like my kids, like that's all I kept on running through my mind was my
Right.
kids, my kids, my kids, my kids, my kids. My mom passed away from cancer. It wasn't from breast cancer, but she did pass away from cancer
Right.
at a young age. So I'm like, okay, let's not take this. So then we was working with my care team going. So they made a decision. They wasn't going to touch it. The left breast went to 3. My right breast went into 2. It was
Wow.
forced. It was coming fast. I rejected radiation. I didn't
Okay.
want to do radiation.
Did they
That's
give you
something I didn't.
medicine right away,
I,
like after the diagnosis?
yeah, they did give me it. I met with I had a whole care team, like my inject
Okay.
me. So at this time I'm taking the medicine. I did decline radiation. I didn't want
Okay.
that. And I didn't want the intense chemo.
Okay.
So I was on no pills. Um, so I from June to June to like September, I had my good days, I had my bad days. There was
Right.
days that I couldn't move out the bed, days I was crying, but I hid it from my kids because I just didn't want my kids to know until I know exactly what was going to happen. I
Right.
didn't tell my younger kids at all. My 2 younger ones never found out until after, but I'll touch base when we get to that. So there would be times that my body would ache so bad, like I could not get up out the bed. I would be in extremely pain. Like
Right.
my legs would just shut down, my body shut down. My hair fell out. Like I long, long hair. My hair started to fall out.
Right.
So I had my good days, I had my bad days, but I always kept a positive matter. And I'm gonna say
Right.
why I did that is because this disease is mind over matter.
Right.
And when I didn't think about it, trust me, I had the best days ever. Even my doctors, my nurses used to be like, Miss Minerva, you just keep such a positive attitude. Yeah, because ain't no doctor gonna tell me nothing that God didn't tell me yet.
Right. Come on.
And that's how I'm gonna go.
Mhm.
So there were times I would go in the bathroom and cry because I didn't want my kids to see me in pain. Like it was just that. So came September, they still wasn't up for it. I told them they can take the breast. Breast doesn't make me. This disease won't beat me. That was
Ever.
always my saying.
Right.
They they made it on October 10th. I mean
Okay.
October 9th. October 9th is my granddaughter's first birthday. I had my surgery on.
Wow.
So my husband, now, he went in with me. He took me in. I was scared. I went into surgery. I was in surgery for 8.5 hours. I didn't know I was in there for 8.5 hours.
Mhm.
I was in surgery like around, I want to say roughly like 8.5 hours. I had 96 stitches between both of my breasts.
Right.
Um, I woke up, I was still a little bit nauseous. I think they gave me so much anesthesia, but they had to keep me sedated because it was a long surgery.
Mhm.
I woke up, I was still throwing up and stuff like that. After that, I I stayed. Then my husband came and got me. I came home. Um, I had like the drain. I had to have bandages and stuff, my wounds cleaned and stuff like that, which my husband and my oldest daughter did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
But the story stopped there. So I'm like, okay, my right breast is okay. My right breast is like, all right. I'm yeah, it's taken to this. My left breast now. the breast that started all of this.
Right.
There was a drainage tube in there. It set on a nerve. It got infected.
Wow.
It got irritated.
Mm-hmm.
So that was giving me a whole different type of pain. That was
Right.
giving me a whole type of another feeling. And that was taken out. Then the healing is of my scar. So I prayed about it. I prayed about it. It took me longer. That left breast took longer to get better. But then
Yeah.
I was able to get better. We are now 3 years. I mean 4 years. No, 3 years. No, four. No, three.
No.
2019, 22, 3, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 3 years strong. Now, people don't know what I never told them is I went back on chemo. Like 4 months ago, I went back on
Oh,
chemo.
wow.
Nobody didn't. I didn't explain that to them.
Right.
The left side started to act up a little bit more, so she was a little bit nervous because a little lump had came back.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
so I was like, okay, here we go again. But I still kept my positive attitude. I still kept it as that. So then once she did what she did, it wasn't what it was. It was just
Okay.
still
Okay.
tissue stuff recuperating from the surgery.
Surgery. Okay.
So with that being said is that I can stand up here and I can give a testimony about what how it feel, but I owe it all up to the man upstairs. Like, because without him, I wouldn't be sitting here. Like, it's no doctor, it's no nothing. It's God that got me through where it gave. God gave me that strength. Days that I wanted to give up and just be like, you know what, God, just I give up. I just think over. When I had to cut my hair used to fall out in patches because of the treatment I was taking.
Right.
I would be in the bathroom crying to my sisters, crying when my bones was hurting. When I tell you that pain is no joke, that pain is no joke. I'll be crying, trying to hide it from my kids, trying to do it to that. But I just leave it up to God. God, listen, take the wheel on this, give me what it is. And let me tell you something. All he did was, child, take my lead. And that's what I did. I kept a positive attitude because that this disease is mind over matter. When I
Right.
felt bad, I was letting it get the best of me. That's when I had them bad days. But when I kept that attitude, like, you know what, you ain't gonna beat me, I'm gonna beat
That's right.
you.
That's right.
Then that's when them good days was coming, and I had a lot of good days, more than bad days, I have to say.
I
And
love
even
the fact that you keep reiterating that, like it's mind over matter, and that's true in a lot of things in life too, right? But
mhm,
like you're saying, when I just will push myself, and when I would just have to, when everything else, nothing else worked, my faith, right? My faith was what got me through, because I know at that time, like we're talking about faith over fear, and I know that was probably one of the most fearful times to be given a diagnosis that most people take as a death penalty. But the fact that you're sitting here saying, I didn't take it as a death penalty, I took it as a way that got me closer to my faith. And with that being said, I mean, that takes a lot of courage,
yes,
a
it
lot of
was.
courage. I think it's breaking up on us. Hold
Yes.
on. Enemy so mad, but that's okay because you defeated, and we celebrating testimony right now, enemy. So you can go on over there with that bad internet connection. So I know that I mean that's so
Yeah,
encouraging.
go ahead. We gonna
We
rebuke.
rebuke it.
Yeah, frustrating. When he can't mess with you.
Mhm.
He try any and everything. Guess what? You just need to laugh. Laugh it.
That's right.
Just
That's right.
laugh it off.
Yeah. So
But
how are you feeling now?
so actually, I'm doing good. Is because every year on my granddaughter's birthday, it reminds me because not only am I celebrating her joy, that's the day that I had my surgery.
Right.
So it like brings so many emotions and things. And after I had my surgery, her birthday party. Mind you, we planned it out, this big birthday party for her first birthday, everything. I'm standing up there with 96 stitches, but I still made it happen. I
Wow.
still found the way.
That's right.
Everybody looked like I was tired. I was weak. I was everything. And come to find out, see how the devil worked? He was mad because I got up. Let me tell you something. The party man and took my baby money, didn't come and decorate. So I had to go in there and move around the way that I need to
Wow.
move around.
Right.
It was like with 96 stitches in my chest, but I
Right.
still got it to go. But with that being said, it's like I'm gonna keep on saying this. And this goes for anything. Any negative thing, it's always mind over matter. But why do I say that is because we can be sitting here being fine. Somebody could come tell us something, mess up our whole mood. We can go to the doctor and be fine. They can come in there and tell us, oh my God, you got scoliosis. Now all of a sudden your back is bent over.
Mm-hmm.
Mind over matter. When you get negative stuff, don't feed it with negative, because what it do is it eats it up. So
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do is stop that hunger. You're
That's
going
right.
to right now. We're going to stop this and throw it away. So
Yeah.
with that positive attitude, it's mind over matter with a lot of stuff, and that's what people fail to realize. And what people really fail to realize is you need to put God in your life. It's not just what He can do. It's not only when He can do it. It's all the time.
That's right. That's
That being said, like you can't just thank Him when He doing something good for you.
right.
You got to thank Him when bad times happen
That's
too,
right. That's
because He
right.
gonna get up them bad times.
Right. That's right.
Now I got a testimony for everything, but I ain't here to preach now. But that's
Yeah.
gonna be another a whole nother subject. But yeah, like I just want to express something. When you're up in age and you find out, God forbid, you have breast cancer, or you have any other type of situation going on, ask for a mammogram. That's your right. I would tell the youth to get it as early as 18 if you can. Start
Wow.
checking breast at the age of 18 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Statistics now, it's a lot of young people getting breast cancer. And why when by the time they catch it, it's already at 3 and 4, is because the doctors is not offering mammograms to people. See, my
Right.
kids, they have to get mammograms at their early age because
Right.
it happened with me. So they have to offer them that. But I'm just saying, for anybody else, if you never got your breast check, go out and get your breast check. You might be scared. We scared for everything we do. When we go
Mm-hmm.
get our pap smears done, we get scared.
Mm-hmm.
You just be scared just to think like, oh God, what if something come back? Or what if I got that? You not even doing nothing, or you been with the same person for 15 years or
Right.
something like that. It's always a worry in your mind. Or what you do, you go take a blood test. Oh, what if my iron is low? Or
Mm-hmm.
what if this is always a second guess with something? So even if you're scared, it's better for you to know than you not to know and it's too late. So I recommend go get them breast check.
Right. Right.
And all that doctor stuff, or you checking your breast at home too, that's perfectly fine. But get
Right.
a mammogram.
Right.
If that mammogram don't seem right, ask for ultrasound on the mammogram. If something come back, don't panic. It could be lymph nodes.
Right.
It can be anything. So sometimes if you're top heavy, or if you had deodorant, could sometimes send it off.
Mm-hmm.
Different stuff could send off what they looking for. So if
Mm-hmm.
you phone call and say, oh, you got to come back in, don't worry. Pray to God, leave it to Him, and trust me, He gonna lead the way.
Amen.
And y'all not in this fight alone. We all stand together as one, woman, men, whatever. So as a survivor, as a person that been through it, as a person that beat it, I just recommend y'all, please check your breasts. Please. This is so high risk in women
Mm-hmm.
not knowing or not getting mammograms because they just don't
Fear.
know, or they
That fear. Or
rather be scared than sorry.
mm.
You'd rather be early than too late.
Mm-hmm.
So I advise y'all to get ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Get ahead, like get ahead. It's a lot of people that survive. It's
Mm-hmm.
more survive. It's a lot of people that survive.
Right.
And
Right.
then the people that didn't survive, they fought a hard battle. They
Right.
fought a hard.
Right.
They best, and they just didn't go right away.
Right.
So just, God forbid you do wind up having it. There's different circumstances, it's different treatments, it's different thing. Keep a
Right.
positive attitude. Anybody that's going through it right now, keep a positive about. If you had that pain from chemo, if you went through being drained and tired, you went through the hair loss, you went through all of that. I'm telling you, it's mind over matter. Just keep a positive attitude. But number one is put the Lord first. Put the Lord in this battle, because that's the one that's gonna fight it for you. You're not gonna even fight it. He gonna fight it for you. He just gonna guide you which way to go, but he gonna fight it for you.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about that. And look, y'all, and people that had to cut their hair, my hair was short. On the clip, I'm gonna show y'all. I don't want to go off of it and show y'all a picture, but my hair was like cut really, really short. But look how long it is now. 3 years later.
3 years later. Wow. It grew back just like your confidence, just like everything else comes back.
And I was just talking to somebody, a pastor at a mutual friend church. She had breast cancer. She survived. She got her hair really, really, really short. So we was at I had went over there because I had went to go visit somebody. She was sitting there, and me and her was talking and engaging in conversation. And she was like, "Yeah," and I just kept on telling her, like, "You got this, girl. It's
Right.
mind over matter. You got
Yes.
such and such." The other day, she had box braids in her hair. I said, "See, girl, I told you was gonna be able to get them in the house." She was like, "Oh, I love you so much." I was
Yeah.
like, "No, I love you. Like, no, like, yeah,
You got this. You got
yeah."
this, man. That's that.
Care about hair. I don't care about a breast. I don't care
Right.
about that stuff. Don't make people. That
Right.
don't make people.
So
That,
somebody who's struggling right now and to say like, I this is something that somebody's going through. What would you tell somebody as an overcomer, as a survivor, if somebody's dealing with that right now? Give us a message. What do you tell that person that's dealing with something, that fear, and maybe they're up against having um having the doctor say, you get the surgery, these are your options. Like what advice do you give to somebody?
I will give the advice to say, keep a positive attitude, as or every negative word that's coming out, and it don't, when I say negative, it don't have to be a real bad negative, but to receive news like that, that's negative to me. That's not a good word. I would say receive it, but when you receive it, don't receive it as they're giving it to you. Receive it as a blessing. And why
Mm-hmm.
I say is you pray, you
Mm-hmm.
give it to God, and you tell God, listen, God, you know my circumstances. I already know you have this story written out already.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just gonna let you take the lead.
Yes.
And days that, and you're gonna have bad days, and days that you have bad days, don't give up. Them days that you feel like you got to stay in that bed, try to move, wiggle a little bit. Show that the nasty disease like you won't beat me.
Mm-hmm.
Get up, wiggle a little bit. Them days that you're going in that bathroom, you combing your hair and your hair is falling out in patches, it's okay. Put some water on it, slick it up. Put a hat on. You still cute. You still
Mm.
beautiful.
I know that's right.
The people that lost their breasts, it's okay. Cause guess what? You still pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Breasts don't make you.
That's
A
right.
breast don't make you. You make you. Your
Mm-hmm.
personality make you.
Mm-hmm.
Your faith make you. So
Yeah.
all that stuff don't make you. Hair, breast, none of that don't make you. This disease don't even make you. It's a
Mm-hmm.
nasty disease that you can beat.
Mm-hmm.
So you receive that news, you already beat it. That's what you're gonna go in and say. Somebody that's fighting it now, don't worry, you're gonna beat it. You're not
Mm-hmm.
fighting it. You're waiting for it to be done.
Right.
That's what we. It's over. It's already written. You're already almost done. You almost at that finish line. The
Don't give
finish
up.
line is right there.
Yes.
That's all. That's all. The finish line is right there. That's what I'm gonna say. The finish line is right there. Don't lose hope. It's gonna be. Trust me. I cried plenty of days. I gave up hope. I thought I was going to die. I thought my kids was going to be without a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I thought my family was going to have to bury me. I've been through all of them stages. But guess what? I'm a walking testimony.
Yeah.
That finish line is right there.
Yeah.
Trust me. Keep faith, keep your strength, and keep a positive attitude. And that will get you through whatever you have to get through with this.
And one last question I have for you is, what do you tell Minerva 3 years ago, with diagnosis day? What would you say to her? What would you say to that Minerva at that time?
Oh, that Minerva, you shouldn't have took it so hard as you did. And you should have just kept the positive attitude that you grew into.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. That's what I would tell her then. Because from going from one breast to two breasts, it was just overwhelming. At that point, I just said, at one point, I said, oh, God, just come take me. That's that. Because I just felt like I wasn't going to survive it. So why make my family and stuff go through the hassle of having to see me go through these trials and tribulations and stuff like that. And I got one more other, for the parents that have kids. Sometimes little kids, sometimes we don't know how to tell our kids, because I didn't tell my two youngest ones at all. I didn't tell them until it was done. It's okay. It's okay not to tell them, because guess what? That's another worry that's going to be on your mind, because now they're going to be wondering if you're okay, or if their mom is going to pass away, or if their dad is going to pass away, or something like that. No, when you feel comfortable enough to do it, if you choose that you want to tell them, then it's okay with you. Don't listen to people that say, oh, maybe you should tell them, maybe you shouldn't tell them. Right. When it's your time, you feel it. When it's your time.
I love that. I love that. That's so good. That's so good. I know that I hope somebody listens to this. I hope that this reaches someone and they know what you said. What I take away is, don't give up. Mind over matter. Keep your thoughts positive and your actions positive, and share with those you love as you want to, as you need to, but don't let anybody force you into anything. I love that.
Right. I had my testimony for a long time. My sister is the one that brought it to the internet. I just didn't feel like it needed to be broadcast, but it did need it to be broadcast.
Right.
Why? Because people are scared and people are embarrassed. Like I was more embarrassed than anything. Oh, I'm embarrassed because I have this and I have this. Until when my sister shared my story about it, and I had so much love and input that comes. That support is the best thing when you're going through that. The love, the phone calls, the texts, just the uplifting words, or you just even expressing your story, and your story can relate to somebody else's story. Right. Because I can touch 4 people right now, and out of them 4 people, God forbid, one of them that's hearing my story go get a mammogram, and I can save their life by just hearing my story, my testimony. And if I had somebody early enough to tell me, don't wait to that age, go ahead and go get your mammogram at a certain age, then maybe that would have helped me.
Right.
So that's why I keep on iterating on this. Women, you have to get a mammogram. 25, 27, 35, 45, 50, 70, whatever your age is. If you did not have a mammogram yet, I recommend you go get one. You go get one, you go get one, you go get one. You'd rather be safe than you'd rather be sorry. And that's how I'm going to say it.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, that was faith over fear. I hope you've been inspired by Minerva's inspiration. Minerva, thank you so much for blessing us here on Faith Over Fear. To God be the glory, sis. Continue to use your voice and tell your story. You are brilliant. Peace. Peace and blessings. Love and light.